All right, welcome to another episode of Blindsided About Reality, and we are joined again by Dan, who is slowly becoming a huge Bachelorette fan, I've heard.
I'm so excited. I've not watched a second of it. However, if by fan you mean, do I care who Charity ends up with? Yes, I am. I as soon as last week finished, I knew I had not been invited to guest on the show again yet. Thankfully, I got the call back. I said,
it's a tough
who did Charity send home? And you walked me through what happened in about 3 or 4 minutes. And I feel like I'm keeping up in that regard.
Yeah.
So, and right before we hit record, you said we were going to go through the men tell all. Does that mean she doesn't send anybody home this week?
Yeah. So what happens is, because the episodes have all been pre-recorded.
Classic.
Right before they air, the week before they air the finale, we do a live men tell all. So it's happening in real time. So like yesterday, they were all in LA.
So, but the men who are still left
are not there.
They're not there.
Yeah. So the final, typically it's the final 2, but we don't know where Aaron B's at. So Aaron B, Dotun, and Joey were not there.
Okay.
Everyone else was there.
So everybody else is there, and I really only know Xavier from that bunch.
Oh, he was there.
And I know, no, I don't know Aaron. You're right. I only know Xavier. Yep. That's it. Mm-hmm. And so this is just their chance to get together. Do they like pick who they think she's going to end up with?
No, they just rehash all the drama that we've already hashed this season.
Okay.
It's a good time.
Okay. It's a good time. Are the tell-alls better than the actual show?
I mean, they're interesting.
Right.
Everyone gets a kind of chance to either apologize or explain what happened. Charity comes on, has a couple conversations. And they announced, well, the next season is going to be Golden Bachelor.
What does that mean?
He is 71 years old.
Okay.
So we'll meet him. I'll tell you all about him later.
No, you did get to meet him already.
He came on the show.
71.
Yep. Golden Bachelor.
What do you think the youngest contestant's going to be?
I thought about this last night. I do think they're going to have like a young person. There.
Like, what are we talking?
Like mid to late 20s. I do think they're going to try to get away with it.
45-year difference?
I think they're going to try to get away with it.
Mm.
I don't want them to. I think this guy does not want that. I think it would be respectful of his choices if we chose age-appropriate women for him. I would not be shocked.
But like by the time you're 71, like 55 is age appropriate for him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you have to be like within 5 or 6 years when you're 71 years old, but
no.
25-year-old.
I just think there's always like some young person. I feel like I don't want them to. People out there, don't hear what I'm not saying.
That's right.
I do not want them. I would love it if nobody was younger.
But it's ABC, it's The Bachelor.
But
I thought Golden was like 25th anniversary or something. I thought that's why they were doing that.
It's funny because I remember them advertising for this in like 2019. They were looking for a senior bachelor. And then COVID. Can't do that. Mm-mm. So I'm glad that they stuck with it, and we're still trying.
Wow.
But anyway, so we start off. We've got Jesse front and center. And right off the bat, you know that we kind of give him a grade whether or not he was useful.
He's got to be useful this week.
Right off the bat, first 30 seconds of this episode, I was like, he gets a plus for this episode.
Okay.
I was in on Jesse the whole time.
What'd he do?
He just finally, I think we got to see a bit of his personality. He is making jokes. He's there for a bit. He's there to like make fun of himself, tease the guys, and just kind of like move it along, but it was just more of Jesse than we've gotten all season.
Do you think that he does that on the regular and they cut it all in editing?
I would hope so.
Because if it's live, maybe that's his chance to shine. He does live football commentary on the weekends.
It was everything that I wanted from him all season. And he brought
there you
it
go.
last night.
Attaboy, Jess.
Yeah, Jesse Palmer, A+ for you.
A+. Wow.
I would just want producers, if you're watching.
If you're watching this.
If you're one of the 75 people who watched this.
That's right. I know we're over 100. We're over 100. I looked.
More of Jesse. Like, let him shine. Less drama and just more Jesse.
They're not going to go for less drama. I've got bad news for you.
Throw Jesse into the drama.
Yeah.
Just let him, or more bits. I don't know. Just, it was great. Somebody you didn't get to meet was Braden.
Okay.
He was a front runner in the early episodes. I think his main detriment was that he was 24.
Yeah, and she's like 30, 28, 30?
27, I think.
Okay.
And so the men are around 30. And so while I don't think Braden did anything like egregious. I think there was just a difference in how they handle situations.
I taught a Braden who's about 24. Can't be the same. Not from this area. Couldn't be.
I don't remember where Braden was from. Braden, he's from San Diego.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Well, wouldn't that be fun?
Wouldn't it? Oh, my goodness.
And so one thing Braden was known for was he would have these like statement earrings on the show.
All right.
Just whatever. So right off the bat, Jesse is like, I like your earrings, bro. Like, good for you. And Braden goes up on stage and gives Jesse a pair of clip-on earrings. And Jesse just puts them on.
Yeah, he does. Immediately. That's what I'm talking about.
It wasn't a bad look. I don't love it.
What kind of earrings were they? Like studs?
Small little dangly earrings.
Dangly?
And Jesse just like, I think it was the confidence. Jesse was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. And just
pulled them off.
Both of them up there, just earrings.
Wow. So when we say statement earrings, were they also dangly? They weren't hoops or studs? They were all
dangly. Something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right on.
So one of the biggest issues with Braden was there was just drama, and there was a date where the winner, it was a group date, the winner got to break the longest kiss in Bachelor Nation history with Charity.
They win a game, they get a certain length of kiss?
Yeah, to break the record.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Joey won, and he got to make out with Charity for like 5 minutes. And the men on the date had to watch. They were there.
Dear God, what?
See? And
they just rounded them up in a semicircle. We're like, watch these two people make out.
Pretty much.
Yikes.
And Braden wasn't on that date, but when the guys got home and told him about it, he was like, that's disrespectful. Like, I would not want to be on that date.
Yeah.
And so then the guys all took it like, well, this is a show, and she's kissing other men. And Braden's like, yeah, but I don't have to watch
That's
it.
right.
Like when you're on a one-on-one or you go off on your little time, like I don't have to
That's
watch
right.
it.
You don't know what happens.
So that was their main disagreement, was they were all mad at Braden because Braden had a boundary and was like, forcing other men to watch you make out with someone is a boundary I don't want to cross.
That's weird, ABC Disney.
And the guys took offense to Braden having boundaries.
Of course they did. Yeah.
One of my notes here is these men all need therapy.
Yeah. That's pretty standard though, right?
And so they brought that up again because Braden ends up sending himself home where he's like, I don't think I can fall in love in this environment. Like, this is just not for me.
Oh, he sent himself home. Oh, wow.
And then part of the issue was, so he and Charity basically get in a fight because she's just like, I can't believe this is your attitude. And he's like, I just don't think this is for me. And he leaves. And then he ends up coming back later that night to apologize to Charity for leaving in that heated moment. And the guys are like, but you took away time from us. And
youngest dude seems like he's got himself together more than the rest of them. At all. Yeah.
And his opening gambit was he's a traveling nurse. And his opening thing was he came up to Charity with a tray of tequila shots and said, we need to make sure we're up on our shots.
Oh, see, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Even if the producers gave him that, that's good. It's better than AA run. Yeah. Come on.
So anyway, so when he goes to talk to Charity, the guys all get upset that he's taking away their time with Charity. So instead of having time with Charity, they all follow Braden as Braden leaves, surround his limo, and like just fight with him verbally.
What?
And then they all get mad because when they go back inside, Charity's like, this is a lot. I'm ending tonight. And they were all like, we didn't get our time with you. And I was just like, you spent 20 minutes yelling at Braden outside.
I can't believe, like, I got to be honest. I had a really high opinion of The Bachelorette. And then I'm listening to this and it's just plummeting through the floor.
Yeah.
I've never thought our society was like dwindling down, but a group of grown men surrounding a limo to fight with a dude who didn't want to be forced to watch another dude make out with the girl he's trying to be with is a sign that we're about all done here.
Yeah. Yep. So, so they were all just yelling at Braden, like, because you came in and talked to her, I didn't get time with her. And I just would like to say, anyone watching out there, someone else's actions, like, they don't your actions do not rely on someone else's. Like if you wanted time with Charity,
that's right.
You would take that time with Charity. If Charity wanted that time with you, she would find you. And if your relationship just isn't there, it's not Braden's fault. It's just that your relationship is not there.
Yeah. Scapegoat.
Stop blaming Braden for the fact that Charity didn't feel a connection with you. There just wasn't a connection.
Yeah. Are they still mad at him at the tell-all?
So they're still mad at him, but he says this great thing where they're all, you took my time, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I didn't care about taking away your time that night. I didn't care about taking time away from any of you that night. I cared about apologizing to someone that I hurt.
Wow. This guy. Maybe the youngest, but seems to be the most mature.
I rewound it to make sure I wrote that down because I was like, yeah, that's what matters here.
That's what I'm talking about, Braden.
So he will be on the next season of Bachelor in Paradise. So tune in for
that. Did they announce that?
Yeah.
Of course they did.
There's rumors of a couple other guys going, but Braden was the only one that they announced.
Oh, really?
So.
Does that mean the rest aren't going for sure?
Well, no. I mean, because they haven't announced any of the cast.
Still working on deals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then apparently after the show wrapped, all the guys were on a Zoom call together or something. And they made social media posts. And at the bottom of their post, it said FP. And Braden told this guy, Peter, that stands for F. Peter.
Wow.
And now Peter went home night one. So I was like, who's Peter?
Yeah.
And so then Peter is saying how he was really upset that like all these guys are posting on social media like FP and that he was really hurt by that. Like I was there one night. Like,
yeah.
And so
what did I ever do to you?
Wait for it. I'm just there. So now I'm on Peter's side. Like,
we're
all bullying Peter.
These
for
dudes
no
who are ganging around a limousine to fight with somebody.
Xavier starts off to apologize. We shouldn't have done that. I'm like, okay, he's going to apologize.
Yeah.
He goes, but it was an inside joke. And if Braden hadn't told you, you wouldn't know what it was. Then he's mad at Braden for telling Peter.
Yeah, this is a problem. This
and I was like, Xavier, still no, like,
yes.
You shouldn't have done it.
We don't have time to get into toxic masculinity, but I believe this is a pretty good personification here.
It was great.
Of what's happening.
And so I'm just like, I can't believe they would do that. Like, that's so mean. And then Peter's playing this, like my people in my church saw that.
Oh my goodness.
All this stuff, right? And I'm like, okay, well, but then the guys apparently all turn on him and they're like, well, dude, like you were only there one night, but every conversation you had with us in the house was about like how long you had to be on the show to get brand deals. Like when we signed on to the Zoom call, the first question you asked was who has been approached by what companies? And we were all taken aback by that because, dude, you were on the show for 2 hours. And then when he found out about the FP thing, I guess he told some of the guys that it would be good for his notoriety and he was going to make T-shirts out of it. And so now they're mad at Peter again because they're like, dude, no, we shouldn't have done it. But like, you're playing the victim here.
So he's just trying, according to them, he's just trying to get publicity however he can get it.
Yeah.
So now he needs to draw attention to the fact that he left.
Yeah, none of them liked him. So they were doing this FP thing. And then he found out what it meant.
And so he's like, let me try to grasp onto that.
And so now they doubled down on liking him. So
man, that's tricky. It's a tough situation right there.
Yeah, it was just a lot of like, and then when it ended, I was like, I guess we needed to talk about it because it was on social media and people had questions, but I don't follow.
Do you remember why Peter got let go? He wasn't for her.
Night one. It just, you either make a splash or you
don't.
Don't.
Of course.
So I feel like I could have lived without that 15-minute segment.
15 minutes for that.
I wasn't timing. I was drinking a glass of wine. I really don't know. Time didn't matter.
Social construct.
Yeah. Braden goes up. He talks. Oh, they just talk about. He goes up to talk to Jesse a little one-on-one. That's when they do his whole paradise bit. They show a little clip of him in paradise. Great. Moving on.
Awesome.
Xavier goes up. He says he has started therapy. So good for you, Xavier.
All right.
Proud of you.
Clearly hadn't gone far if he's still up there blaming Braden.
Weird. His whole time, like I feel like it was just weird. They bring Charity out, so Xavier can talk.
And so she knows who she's chosen and can't say.
Yeah.
Got it.
She knows how it ends. And I'm sure some of the guys do too.
I'm sure.
She says like a little thing to Braden, and he just says like, I'm so happy that I met you. I'm happy we had that time. And so they're cool. Sean, who you've not met, goes up on stage to basically say, Charity, I have no questions for you. I had a great time. Thank you for being you. And Jesse's like, why are you? Jesse literally says, did I invite you up here? Why are you up here?
Jesse Palmer bringing the heat this evening.
He was like, did you invite yourself on stage? Go back to your seat. You need to be invited up here.
Wow.
I was just really loving Jesse.
Yeah. Who does Sean was not important at all, right? Yeah.
I mean, he made it right before hometowns. He didn't make it to hometowns.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah. Tanner was another guy who got sent home right before hometowns. Same thing, just like, hey, glad we met. Like, you know, I had feelings for you and it was a great time, but, you know, the connection just wasn't there.
Great.
So
Glad we did that. Yeah. Cool.
Again, Tanner, my DMs. Yep.
In case you missed it the first time, I know you've watched all of these, Tanner, and now by episode 6 or 7,
we're on 8.
Yeah, 8, excuse me. You know, yeah.
Yeah. So if you could just Xavier, not right now.
Not now. No.
If you want to go through some more therapy.
That's right.
Xavier does knit her a rose. So there's
they went on the knitting date.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
he does knit her a rose just to say, like, I'm still in love with you, but closure and here.
Yeah. Great.
John, who you don't know, but it was Brian's favorite. Brian's picked either win it all or be the next Bachelor.
Yeah, that sounds about right, that he's nowhere to be found right now. Yeah.
Again, he's just fine. I just literally wrote down who Charity spoke to, but I have no notes next to their name because they were just like, glad we had a good time. Thanks. Then she sorry. We talked to Xavier. He goes and sits down. Charity comes out. She runs through the little, like, all the guys, whatever. Then they bring Xavier up to talk with her. And right off the bat, he looks at the camera and goes, I just want to say I denounce cheating. Cheating is not good in any form.
Yeah. Needed to get that out of the way real quick.
And it was just like a really awkward PSA where I was like,
Yeah, bro.
It's like somebody wrote it and then he tried to put his own spin on it and the words didn't quite.
All publicity is good publicity unless this is the case of you being in that situation. Then not too much.
So they showed some clips of earlier dates, things that either didn't air or I just didn't remember them. But on a previous one-on-one with Xavier, she tells him about how, like, she'd been cheated on and it was really important to her. And so she kind of lets him. You can tell that there was anger in her voice.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, you should have told me about this sooner.
Yeah.
I would not have brought you to Fiji had I known.
No.
Like, if we had this conversation. And
it's
then
a
she's
weird
mad
thing to wait.
After she, like, puts him in the limo, they hug. And he's like, I love you. And she's like, why? Like, I'm sending you home. Why is that the moment you tell me you love me? So.
Yeah.
That was great.
Well, how do you respond to all that?
He was just like, it was what I was feeling, and I needed you to know. And sure, whatever.
Sheesh.
Then we get a blooper reel, which
classic.
More footage of Jesse in the Sasquatch costume.
Who's the funniest in the blooper reel that's not Jesse Palmer? None of them?
No, I mean, it was more like set pieces falling apart.
Okay. I got
things
you.
Were just like hastily put up, to make it look more fancy. But Tanner and Charity are like making out in the woods, and Jesse does like walk up behind them.
Classic.
So good times. Something you missed was they did a 2-on-1 date, which is one of the men will be getting a rose and one's going home immediately.
Okay. I think you explained this to me at some point. Yeah.
But she ends up not giving either one of them a rose, being like, I'm not sure yet, so we'll just stick around. They went on like a swamp boat tour.
Okay.
In New Orleans.
Sounds awful. Swamp boat tour?
And the captain was Captain Tom.
Okay.
I would say, imagine a captain of a swamp boat in New Orleans.
Yeah, got it. In Nolans.
Nolans, as
that's right.
Ryan would say.
That's right.
And you've got Captain Tom.
Okay.
And Captain Tom on the date was kind of being a little funny, like, I don't know how this is going to work. Like, 2 men, 1 woman, like, that's a weird date.
Yep.
And if Cherry doesn't like either one of them, she can give me a rose. Like,
whatever. Oh, okay.
So they bring
Captain
out.
Tom. Captain Tom was at the tell-all? Oh my gosh, they just needed to fill air at this point.
Pretty much. That's how I felt towards the end of this.
Oh.
Like, they were just doing like bits and reels and whatever.
Captain Tom at the tell-all.
He is trying to talk to Charity and calls her Chastity.
Oh boy. He just got a free trip to LA is all he did. That's what happened here.
And it was and Jesse kept trying to interrupt him being like, Charity? Do you mean Charity?
Oh, he did it more than once?
Like 2 or 3 times.
Oh, buddy.
But then turns
maybe
out,
he should be the next Golden Bachelor candidate.
So they had given Captain Tom a rose, and they were like, Tom, neither Tanner nor Sean got a rose on that date. Who would you give the rose to? And he gives the rose to Sean, and they hug, and it's a funny bit. Great.
I love it. Good for Captain Tom. Glad he showed up.
Didn't see it coming, but good for Captain Tom.
Yeah. It's never a good sign for a tell-all, though, when you got to fill with that kind of stuff.
No. Then we do a nice little bit because this is the 20th season of The Bachelorette.
Okay.
We bring out Trista, who was the first Bachelorette.
Okay.
Deanna Pappas, who was the fourth Bachelorette.
Awesome.
And Desiree, who was the ninth Bachelorette.
Desiree, great. 1, 4, and 9. Great.
Yeah.
Good years.
And they kind of it was a really nice like women supporting women moment up there where they just talked about like how the franchise has changed, and Desiree and Trista are still married to the person that they chose on the show.
Wow.
Trista and her husband are celebrating their 20th wedding anniversary in a couple months.
Oh my goodness.
And so they were just talking about that. Deanna just split from her husband this year. So
wow.
Not from the show, but the brother of a contestant.
I got you. Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Not her. It's a whole thing. Someone from the Bachelor Nation, but not from her season.
Someone from the Bachelor Nation.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, but they just split up.
So why those three? Just because they would probably be willing to do it, I guess?
Well, Trista is always like paraded around because she's
the
first one.
And she's been married for 20 years.
Desiree is 2. She's always paraded around. And then I watched Desiree's season. And the guy she chose, I did not think was not a front runner. The guy who was the front runner sent himself home. Like said, I don't feel this, and left. And
wow.
So I always sorry Desiree if you're listening to
sorry.
this.
Sorry.
But I always just felt like it was like a settle, like I have to get engaged.
And then she's still married.
And they're still married and they got 2 kids.
There you go.
Good for you. It worked out.
Yeah.
Maybe it was editing. Maybe they thought here's a front runner. We're going to give him a really good edit, and then he left. I just never saw it coming. So good for them. But yeah, and Deanna, those 3 are just always paraded around.
All right. Sure, the paycheck's nice.
Yeah. So they did that. A whole women supporting women. Can't wait to see how your season ends. You're such a great Bachelorette. Never lose. Give her some tips on, social media is going to be crazy, but like never lose sight of who you are. And
Classic yearbook post.
Yeah. And then we meet Gary.
Is that the Golden Bachelor?
Yeah,
his name's Gary?
Yeah, it is.
You seem very excited about this.
I was going to watch this season anyway, but I am 100% in on Gary. I can't. Okay. So Gary kind of gives his little, his life story.
It's probably longer than some of the other.
He's from Indiana.
Okay.
He married his high school sweetheart.
Oh.
And they had been married 43 years.
Oh my gosh.
They had kind of had their dream of retirement. He had retired. They were waiting for his wife to retire. She retired on June 6th, or she retired in 2017. They bought their dream house June 6th of 2017. A couple weeks later, she started to feel sick.
Oh my gosh.
And she died July 15th.
No. A month later?
And he's just crying. And
yeah.
I just wanted to hold him.
Gary, come on, buddy.
And so he said, it's taken me a while to get to this point, but I want to find my next partner, someone to, live out this dream with me.
Goodness.
And his daughters are on. They're like, our dad is he's so fun. He deserves to have someone just enjoy life with him. So they just
wow.
Yeah. So they just kind of show who, and he does. He has jokes. He is funny.
If you're gonna bring a 71-year-old on there, they got to be
he's got a personality for days. Big fan of pickleball.
Yeah.
And I know
no, I love it. I love it.
They do
so I'm a big fan of Gary now.
Yeah.
Just like that.
They do a lot of montages of him playing the pickleball. He makes a joke about to his friends. He's like, I've passed all my STD and drug testing. I'm good to go. And they were just like,
that's great.
He does a little bit where he hopes Helen Mirren will be on the show.
Fantastic. Dan, Gary.
And then he says the biggest thing that he is worried about is remembering names. So he does a whole pretend rose ceremony with his family members where he was like, Eunice, will you please accept this rose? Gertrude. And it's this whole funny.
Man.
It's just so funny.
I love it. When does that start?
September.
Okay. So right around the corner.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Jesse kind of talks to him, or Jesse's like, I just got married. Do you have any advice for me? What would be your advice?
Yeah.
And Gary just is tell your partner you love them every day.
Gary, he gets
like
it.
no matter what happens, like there's gonna be a day where you don't get to
Man,
tell it to them.
come on. That's too good. It's too good for a men's tell-all on The Bachelorette.
Then they're also asking, are you going to find your soulmate?
Oh,
like you
boy.
were married to your high school sweetheart. Are you finding your soulmate? And Gary says, you know, I'm not looking for the same thing that I was looking for when I was 17. Like, you know, she was the love of my life and my partner, but there is someone else out there for me to be the love of my life.
This is as good an answer as you can
partner.
give there.
Yeah, I'm doing a really bad job of paraphrasing him. He had like the perfect answer where he's like, this is
They're probably already filming it right now or have been for a while. Yeah. So he's probably used to answering these questions now.
It was just a great answer. And I was just like, you know what? He looks like he's ready to do this.
So was this a surprise? Sorry for interrupting. Was a surprise? Like no one, like this had not been announced until last night?
It had been announced recently.
Okay.
Like
Got
within
it.
the last week or so.
Man, that sounds like a fun time.
I was going to watch it because I was curious. But now I am just all in rooting for Gary.
I hear you. Does anybody give any predictions for the finale or they don't do that?
No predictions. I'm going to have to do some research before I watch live next week. They said 3-hour finale.
What?
And I have questions because there's always an after the final rose.
Yeah.
So after the...
Like a reunion?
So basically what they did tonight, they'll bring... you know, the loser out. They'll bring Charity and the person out. We'll find out if they're still together. It'll be a whole thing. So I just need to clarify if it's a 3-hour finale.
But you're going to watch all 3 hours anyway, right?
Yeah, but it's just going to, am I starting at 8? Or
8.
Yeah. I'm just going to have to figure out when I'm starting it. If it's
I got you.
Going till 11.
And you're sticking with Dotton?
I don't know anymore.
Oof. After last week, Joey pulled ahead.
Well, but also she is, I think, bringing Aaron back.
Yeah.
Aaron flew to Fiji. And
maybe that's why it's a 3-hour finale.
That's my question. Typically, it would be like a 2-hour finale and then the hour of after the
God,
final
if
rose
she ends up with a
3.
guy that introduces himself as Aaron, I don't.
Yeah, so I just don't know if it's 2 hours plus an hour of after the final rose or if it's a 3-hour finale plus after the final rose, which would mean it's 4 hours. So I need to look into what they mean by 3-hour finale. But at this point, yeah, she just keeps bringing, like, she hasn't let go of Aaron. And so at this point, like, I don't know anymore.
Unbelievable.
It could go anyway.
Man. Got to tune in next week. That's right. It's a great tease. It's next week. We won't know till then.
And it's even more exciting than normal because there's 3 guys now.
I mean, come on. Yeah. So if you, right now though, final guess. This is it. This is it till the finale.
Who do I think she's going with? Right now, I'm kind of leaning Joey, I think.
Wow. All right. There you have it. Heard it here first. Yeah. Joey. So then Tanner will have to slide into your DMs. Joey will be taken at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's Aaron B or Dotton, you know.
Yeah. Then back on board.
Greenville,
of course.
South Carolina.
That's right. Exactly.
So.
Fantastic. Yeah. I love it. I can't wait to hear what happens.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try to get you and Bran, and if Brian can...
Ooh, like a full group panel.
Full group panel.
I love it. And can I say this? I wasn't as blindsided by reality this time, but I had just as much fun.
Yeah. The first time it's more blindsided.
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah. I'm just here.
Yeah. And the men tell all, nothing new really happened.
That's true.
Cashing.
But I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they put it on television because clearly it's working for them. So God bless them.
Yeah,
so
and it's really great that you didn't have to spend 2 hours.
No, I would never. I would never.
I had quite a bit of wine because I was like, we already did this.
I was listening. The last time we did this, I was like, man, I kind of feel like I'm missing out. And on this one, I was interested, but I never felt like I would ever go back and watch this. So good. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah. I wish that I had just watched someone doing this instead and didn't
Fair.
spend 2 hours.
That's why we're here. Really. That's why we're here.
I did watch it live and it was like 2 hours.
Yeah. It seems like a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I finally got the Jesse that I've been wanting all season. So I'm
there we go. If we got something out of it. And the Golden Bachelor sounds a lot of fun. Gary.
And it's Gerry.
Like Jerry?
But Gary.
Gerry is Jerry, right?
I don't know. Have you seen Parks and Rec? That's what I just kept thinking
about. Oh, yeah.
I stopped thinking about Parks and Rec.
That's fair.
Because I had to keep like turning the volume up. I was like, is he saying Gary?
Jerry? Gary? Yeah, that's
I could
great.
be saying it wrong. But
who knows?
Yeah. Looking forward to that in a couple weeks.
Fantastic.
All right.
All right.
See you next week.
See ya.